if I could bother you.
Yes.
Can I? Great. I gotta make I guess a bullet nose for a small, I guess Spitz size vintage looking biplane. So it's very subtle curve. I mean, probably not more than what you just did there with the planching too. For a normal guy, it doesn't have 10 grand or 3,500 grand to just make one piece. Just hammering it with shot bead or I actually that's another question in parentheses. What about in Germany in 1921? You wouldn't have planishing tool. We have like English wheel.
You know,
it would be rough. I guess my question is that it would be bumpy, and which I would probably like. It would be kind of hammered in place, and
yeah, I mean, German people, they made some beautiful stuff, and a lot of it was done with a hammer.
Hammer, that's it.
And you know, I've seen right before World War II broke out where they were using sheet metal tools to make the bombs and all that stuff with their big power hammers and things. You know, those guys are real craftsmen out there. But you know, using a shot bag and an English wheel would be the cheapest way to get in to making this stuff. I mean, you can do a lot. You know, my shot bag over here is 125 pounds of lead shot in there.
Yes.
You know, you could roughly form out what you wanted.
That's what I remember last year. You did that most of it there, and then you planishing it. But then I guess this would be the equivalent of the planishing, right?
Okay. Thank you.
You got it.
All right. But you can go to one of these English wheels. You know, these are reasonably
cheap,
priced.
right? Arbor Freight. I mean, too cheap. They're kind of cheap stuff, right?
Yeah.
For sure. But it would last at least my one bullet nose. I mean,
right.
We're not going to use it.
You're only going to build one airplane?
Well, I'll start with one. Yeah, considering the odds, let's start with one.
Yeah. And another thing is get you some shrinkers and stretchers.
Okay.
And
I remember seeing this one though. That sounds like a more affordable.
These are Lancaster. They're very well built. And when you bring this down, see how the jaws are separated right now?
Yes.
So when you bring this down, see how they squeeze?
They do.
And that'll pull your metal together.
Okay.
I don't want to do that too much because it'll chew the jaws out.
Yes, of course.
And but that helps.
And where's that by? That's affordable-ish for a human being?
Yes.
For a normal guy?
Yeah, these you can get, and I recommend that you get a pair of these. A lot of guys will just sell you one body with two jaws.
Okay.
You're back and forth all the time. Just buy the two, and then you have them set up. This will run you about $380.
Okay,
for these,
good.
under $400.
Sounds good.
But with this, I don't know what this is here, 2024 probably. But you can go in. I need to turn this a little bit. Let me go this way here.
Because this is not Arbor Freight quality.
No.
This is a lot better, right? It just looks like it.
Yeah. Now with the shrinker here, that's what you're doing. It pulls that metal together. Like that.
Sounds pretty good.
And see how it'll start to put a curve in there?
Yes,
you do that around the outside edge of your panel and then go to the shot bag and hammer in there. That just will help speed up your shape. You know, because you start stretching this, you really need to shrink this. Now what I do, I'll take a piece of 220 grit sandpaper, fold it in half, stick it on my metal, then stick it in the shrinker, and then you don't have all them serration marks in there. And that kind of helps softens the bite on it.
That's a good. Okay, that's true. I remember reading this. That's true because these are stuck in there now.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, you can sand them out. But another thing, I make my stuff oversized, so I don't get too concerned if I do have a mark, because I'm going to cut it off anyway.
Okay.
You know, that just helps speed the process up of your shaping.
Okay, so even if it's just eared, it's still doing something.
Yes.
I mean,
yes. Yeah, you can see what
tangible.
it did right away. Yeah.
Yeah, we see it.
It
But
really raised it up.
Okay.
And,
okay.
I found it when the material not soft enough, it would crack.
Yeah, the 2024 will crack. Yeah, if you do too much. Yeah. Yeah, and then if you were to do the stretcher, you know, you could tear it, actually tear your metal. And I don't recommend, I mean, you can do it like that, but if you had a wheel, you could run it through your wheel and stretch it, and stretch that edge out to get your piece to turn and go the other way. And,
okay. Okay, that's true. These marks are scary, right?
Yeah,
Not like
yeah.
these,
You really, I mean, cosmetically, I mean, for a cowling, you'll be all right. But really, you want to sand them because that's just a spot for a fracture to start. And
also, if you sand it, I mean that's pretty deep, right? Once you sand it, I mean you've lost.
Yeah, this is 18 thousandths. You know, I've taken a file before. I mean, a cowling that you're going to make, you're probably going to make it out of 50 thousandths anyway. You know, so you got plenty of material there to sand down and file on, and you know. But again, I make them oversized.
Yes.
And then you can trim down.
Okay, that sounds good. So this to start, and that's a reasonable price. Okay, what about this then? So the Arbor freight is just too cheap? I shouldn't even bother?
I would. I mean, if you're a hobbyist, I mean, this machine right here, I think the price on this is $13.50, and that's from here up. It doesn't include the stand.
Yes.
But you get all the anvils and everything with this for $1,350. Okay. And it's a nice built machine.
So it's only like 3 times the price, but it's a lot better than
They make a smaller one, and that runs you about $720, I think.
Okay.
And they have them over there. They're in they're in A, building A. They're right in the middle.
Okay.
And here they give me catalogs, but here they're $13.50 for everything you see there. Then they make a small one, and that's $7.95. And that's what you see is what you're going to get. And the throat depth on this is only 20 inches. That one,
yeah, it's probably enough for my
that's 26.5.
Because I mean it's about this long. It's to enclose the Volkswagen without the cylinder heads, and the width of the fuse is like 22 inches. So it's in 2 pieces. That's would be the small one would be big enough. Yeah. It would. Yeah.
You know, you could. You know, are you going to do any welding, or are you making all this one piece?
Yeah, I think it sounds smarter to do 2, right? The big weld in the center.
Yeah. Well, what I like to do is where the curves come up, don't weld in a flat area, weld in your curve.
Okay.
That's your strongest point. Instead of a flat area, it's a lot easier to metal finish out.
Okay, because I tell you it is like the 2 are like this, so not do it here offset.
You know, if you got a lot of curve to it, I mean, if it's going to be curved like that, then you could put a weld seam down the center.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's pretty much curved in the center here.
I mean, you know, like this. I mean, yeah, it wouldn't bother me. I could go across here and weld down the center of this.
Okay.
You know, and it's like
as long as there's a curve. Okay, that sounds smart.
Like this. I mean, I just went in to where I thought was the best to weld.
Very good. But again, you don't really use anymore the shot bag. I'd love to see you shape with this, because that's what I would use, right? And this is also, somebody sells this somewhere here in the...
I don't know if anybody's got any shot bags here. Mittler Brother, I don't think they brought any. But these Eastwood company out of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
They're on the web, just type in Eastwood.